Government agencies are undertaking an unprecedented period of IT and application modernization. Efforts to effectively collect, manage, and analyze vast volumes of data, combined with the need to operate securely in today's multi-cloud operating environment, have placed tremendous challenges on IT officials to manage multi-pronged IT modernization initiatives. I'm Billy Mitchell with Scoop News Group, and joining me today is Guy Cavallo, Chief Information Officer at the Office of Personnel Management. Guy, always great to see you. Thanks so much for joining me today.
I'm just happy to be here, Billy.
So let's start with a question on what some of the biggest challenges you're facing in managing the rising volume of data while also trying to make data more accessible at the same time to a broader range of stakeholders.
Definitely, there is an explosion of data that we think is going to be an unending explosion. I think the timing of this is perfect with the cloud. I would hate to have to estimate how much hardware to buy for a on-premise data center to try to keep up with the data requests, especially the recent cybersecurity directive on maintaining extensive logs, which for OPM are the most amount of data that we collect on a single day. So it ties very closely to our sprint to the cloud as the best way to be able to have a home for that data. I hate when an agency has to decide we're running out of space. What do we delete to make room for the data that's coming in? What it does is transfer that data management decision to managing your cloud. You don't want to leave that data in your most expensive cost for storage. You want to, as quickly as possible, move data into lower cost storage in the cloud so that you're not running up your bill. But like I said, yeah, our approach is going to be we're going to use the cloud as our repository for that explosion of data.
And you mentioned that transfer and moving of data around in the cloud, and that's our next topic. Is we're curious how you're approaching the demand for data to move more freely and dynamically across different cloud environments.
Definitely, with the way the cloud costs for transferring data, what we're trying to focus on is can we minimize those transfers? For example, for dashboards, instead of having people download their data, we're planning to provide the data in the cloud where it stays there, so that you're just running a dashboard against the cloud. When we do have to share data across agencies or across clouds, and OPM does that quite a bit, providing the federal personnel data back to the federal agencies. We're still doing it on a very legacy process of data sets. We're looking at migrating that as we move more to the cloud to use APIs and other ways to deliver that data to a federal agency instead of shipping files back and forth. So that's a work in progress, but definitely something we're trying to make the right data available to the people with the right requirements for it. Again, we have some very sensitive data about the federal government. We're obviously not going to put that on our public website and make it available, but we need to share that data with specific program offices within an agency. Again, not even a federal employee within an agency. So we've done a lot of work in the last year of developing user requirement groups so that we can segment who can see what data from a particular agency, which is only going to help us with the long-term data management.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked about that sensitive data, because security is obviously a very important part of it. So at the same time, when you're thinking about moving data, how are you also focusing your efforts to protect that data and the security of all the data when you move it between various systems internally and as well as, other agencies as you work with them?
Well, definitely, we've all seen the OMB directives on protecting data with multi-factor authentication, no username and passwords to access systems, encrypting data in transit and at rest. So we're working to resolve any of those that we don't have quite in compliance with that. But I think the OMB direction has been very strong and good for that. Let's not have sensitive data available by username and password. It's definitely identity theft and reuse of username and passwords is very much a strong attack vector against the federal government right now. So having multi-factor, encrypting your data, whether it's at rest or between systems, is critical. And I was glad to see the OMB directive come out for that.
So we experience and hear a lot about how quickly and rapidly technology advances, progresses, changes, however you want to classify that. How are you thinking about striking that balance between achieving an economy of scale with your IT, but also preserving the flexibility and choice as you move forward with your modernization?
Yeah, nobody's giving me the option of turning off the legacy systems while we're rebuilding everything. So it's a constant juggling act of making sure that we're keeping the current legacy systems operational as we're looking to re-platform them and change, improve their customer experience. Again, another very strong OMB directive that was well needed. There's never enough money to do everything as fast as possible, and that's one of the struggles. Is everybody wants us to do it, but then there's not enough money to do it. So creating strong business cases for our CBJ, our congressional budget justification. I go and brief our appropriators every quarter, so that they have a firm understanding of, here's the money that we gave for technology to OPM, guys managing it well. Maybe we can give them a little more money for additional modernization. I was very happy that Congress approved us creating an IT working capital fund at OPM as a way to start funding these projects that are beyond, as you mentioned, Billy, beyond our keep the lights on budget. So we're starting to leverage all of that. And as you know, I've been an active user of the Technology Modernization Fund, and we have two approved requests through there. So that's one way that we're taking care of the modernization while the base budget is paying to keep the lights on. The TMF has allowed me to accelerate 2 modernization projects.
That's great, and congrats on the working capital fund. I know it's not always easy to get Congress to grant the authorities to get those and get the money you need to get things done. As we close out, a final question on the state of relations between your agency and your partners on the outside in industry. Have things gotten stronger and more productive lately? And what would help to unlock greater value in those relations with some of your, your best partners out there on the industry side?
Definitely, everyone is seeing that the technology industry is changing every day. We have to keep up with that. I always look for industry partners that understand what our pain points are and have a solution to either help accelerate what we're doing or coexist with something we're doing. Billy, I spent half of my career on the industry side, so I know what it's like to be on that side. And what I ask my industry partners to do is don't set up a meeting to come ask me, Guy, tell me your vision, tell me your pain points. The thing about the federal government is it's all there. Our budget's out there in public, our agency's annual reports in public, our strategic plan, things that you can't get in the private sector. I'm still seeing too much of the industry just not doing their homework. And don't forget, they can also obtain every contract and every task order that I have issued. So you don't need to meet with me to hear what I'm doing. It's all available there. But I am looking for alternatives. And if people have if industry has a way to do something better, we are all ears to that. Melissa, they also need to do their homework, because if I just met with all my industry requests, I would do nothing else. I would never get to be CIO at OPM, even if it was only 15 minutes per meeting. So that would be my strongest advice. Make sure that you're staying up with where government's staying. Again, a beauty that you have in the federal government that you don't have in the private sector. When OMB issues a directive, again, you might have the Securities and Exchange Commission in the private sector or some other thing. You have a roadmap of what agencies are being asked to do. So make your best fit with how you can help an agency get there.
Quite simple. Just do your homework. You heard it from Guy. Thanks so much, Guy. It's always a pleasure. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Bill. I enjoyed it.